Hi, I'm Michelle.
And I'm Isaiah.
Welcome to Shifting Veil's second drop of October's Dark Harvest, a month of shadows deepening, secrets whispered on the wind, and stories that linger long after the night has fallen.
The darkness grows deeper with each passing night, and a cold edge bites the air. Behind every glowing jack-o'-lantern and every painted smile lies a tale carved from shadows and ancient whispers. Tonight, we continue our journey into the origins of Halloween, where the sacred rites of the Celts meet the New World's unfolding story. From forgotten rituals to modern traditions, the past and present entwine in a dance as old as time. Draw near, the next chapter awaits in the twilight.
In colonial New England, Halloween found little favor. Stifled by the strict Protestant beliefs that dominated the region, the eerie celebrations and superstitions associated with the night were often viewed as frivolous or even sinful, leaving Halloween largely absent from public life. However, farther south in Maryland and the other southern colonies, Halloween's customs held firmer roots, embraced with a more open spirit. As settlers from varied European backgrounds mingled with the traditions of indigenous peoples, a uniquely American Halloween began to take shape. This new incarnation moved beyond ancient rites and solemn observances, evolving into lively play parties, public gatherings designed to celebrate the harvest and the coming of winter. Around crackling fires, neighbors exchanged whispered tales of the dead and shared chilling fortunes glimpsed in the shadows. The night echoed with song and dance, a communal ritual that both honored the mysteries of the afterlife and celebrated the bonds of the living. These early festivities laid the foundation for the Halloween we know today, a night where the veil between worlds still seems to tremble and the past lingers just out of sight. In colonial America, Halloween nights were often filled with whispered ghost stories and acts of mischievous trickery. From harmless pranks to more daring antics, the spirit of mischief was a central part of the celebration, echoing the restless energies believed to roam on that shadowed night.
By the mid 19th century, autumn festivities had become an established tradition in many communities across the country. Yet Halloween itself was still far from universal, its reach patchy and uneven, celebrated with varying customs depending on local culture and beliefs. Though the holiday was gaining momentum, the full tapestry of Halloween as we know it had yet to be woven into the American fabric. In the latter half of the 19th century, America saw a massive influx of immigrants. Among them, millions of Irish fleeing the devastation of the potato famine. These newcomers carried with them rich traditions and customs, including the deeply rooted rituals of Samhain, like the carving of jack-o'-lanterns, a tradition now synonymous with Halloween's glowing grin. Yet historically, the Irish carved turnips, not pumpkins, hollowing out these root vegetables to ward off wandering spirits.
Their arrival helped ignite a national fascination with Halloween, spreading its celebration far beyond the isolated pockets where it had previously been observed. The Irish brought with them not only stories of spirits and otherworldly encounters, but also the customs of costume wearing, bonfires, and festive gatherings. This cultural infusion transformed Halloween from a regional curiosity into a holiday embraced across a growing nation, planting the seeds for the eerie and vibrant festivities we now associate with the season. Drawing from European customs, Americans began adopting the practice of dressing in costumes and going door to door, requesting food or money, a ritual that would evolve into the modern tradition of trick or treat. Alongside this, young women engaged in airy folk divinations on Halloween night, using yarn, apple peelings, or mirrors to glimpse the name or face of their future spouse, blending hope and superstition in the shadows of the season. By the late 1800s, there was a deliberate effort across America to reshape Halloween into a celebration centered on community and fellowship, moving away from its darker associations with ghosts, pranks, and witchcraft. As the 20th century dawned, Halloween parties welcoming both children and adults became the dominant way to observe the holiday. These gatherings focused on seasonal games, traditional foods, and festive costumes, transforming Halloween into a night of spirited joy that still carried whispers of its mysterious past beneath the revelry.
As Halloween grew in popularity, newspapers and community leaders urged parents to strip the holiday of anything too frightening or grotesque. These campaigns sought to tame the darker, more superstitious elements that once defined the night, steering celebrations towards safer, more family friendly territory. By the dawn of the 20th century, Halloween had shed much of its religious and supernatural weight, evolving into a largely secular occasion. The eerie shadows of ancient rites and ghostly fears gave way to costumes, parties, and light-hearted fun, though whispers of its mysterious past still lingered just beneath the surface.
I want to say something. I was just sitting here thinking about the Samhain episode and then this one. When we did the Samhain episode, I was thinking about how the church tried to basically um, assimilate the Druids, the Celts, their practices into Christian stuff. And that's not the first time that that's happened. It happened with Christmas as well, and I don't know, probably countless other celebrations. But it's like when it doesn't happen, then let's just remove all spiritual meaning from it and make it secular, like completely secular. There's no spiritual tie to it whatsoever.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just,
it's
I
every
don't know.
time. Yeah,
If it can't be this way, then it has to be no way.
correct.
Uh, it loses so much meaning. I mean, even if it is just a community thing, it really does just lose. It loses so much meaning. So then it just becomes a very capitalist type thing. We're just selling candy. We're making money. Valentine's Day is a moneymaker. I think Halloween is probably the biggest moneymaker. Um, I mean, when it comes to the candy. And the thing is like in my area, there's not a whole lot of door to door trick or treating anymore. A lot of this stuff is like trunk or treat. The churches will hold the things where people go and fill their trunks with candy, and then the kids like go from trunk to trunk to trunk. And that's boring as hell, people. I'm sorry. I get sad every year. Like I watch like the trick or treaters, and I think last year I saw one go down my street. So it's like you don't even buy candy anymore because you're just going to eat it all.
Yeah, I would
And
agree.
I don't need to do that. So it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of sad. The only way that like you can like let everybody know that you are going to hand out candy is if you spend hundreds of dollars on inflatable decorations or just decorations in general for your yard that like put a spotlight on you basically, so people are like, I bet they're going to hand out candy on that night, and then you're the only one in the neighborhood. And it's just sad because I remember growing up, we always knew like who had the full size candy bars,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
good neighborhood, the good
Absolutely.
street,
Yep.
and like now it's like people take their kids from this church event to this church event to this church event to go to their chunks. And I get it. Some of it is rooted in safety because there's bad people out there, but let's face it, we can kind of tell when candy's been tampered with. I remember the whole razor blade scare whenever we were growing up. Gotta check the candy and make sure no one put a razor blade in your Snickers bar. Like you can tell when that stuff is tampered with. Um, and as far as like their safety of them roaming around, well, the older sibling needs to go with the younger sibling, or the parent just needs to like walk with the kids, whatever. I don't know. It's just sad. It's sad.
Yeah. Not to take this further off. Sorry, but the uh, the way I've always seen this and still do when it comes to like the culture being assimilated like that
Yeah.
is imagine a person having a sentimental item.
Mm-hmm.
They care a lot for it. They take it with them everywhere. They do everything with it because they care about it a lot. And somebody else came along, and maybe you guys aren't going to like this term, but somebody comes along and steals that sentimental item because they see that it's cared for, they see that it's liked, and they see that it's celebrated,
Mm-hmm.
and they take it because they think it's going to give them so much more meaning, but instead it's worthless to them. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have the same value,
Yeah.
and the way they treat it isn't going to have the same value as that. And
Right.
so now they have this item or this thing, or in this matter, this culture, and they're thinking it's not as good as I thought it was going to be,
Mm-hmm.
or it's not what I want it to be. So now I'm going to try and make it into what I want it to be. So now it
Right.
lost all the value, it lost all the meaning, and now it's just a thing.
Right.
So
Yeah. No, I get it. And it's been done many times
yeah,
in many different places of the globe and to many different people. Um, it's just it kind of stinks. I mean, don't get me wrong. Halloween is still fun today, but it is not what it could be, and it is not what it used to be. Um, yeah. So I guess that's what we're doing here now is to tell you guys like where it came from, where it started. So I suppose I should get back to the story, huh? Um, so by the 1920s and 1930s, Halloween had firmly taken root as a secular holiday focused on community celebration. Parades and townwide parties became the heart of the festivities, bringing neighbors together under the glow of autumn's fading light. Yet, despite these spirited gatherings, the night was not without its shadows. Vandalism and mischief began to cast a darker hue over some celebrations, unsettling communities and prompting calls for order. By the 1950s, concerted efforts by town leaders and school officials had largely curbed these disruptions. I wonder if the disruptions were done by kids, because why else would the school get involved? You know? So maybe they were throwing toilet paper and eggs. I mean, I did that. Did you do that?
oh no, not me. I
No?
was too busy getting candy. Yeah,
Really? Like, you never toilet papered a house?
nope,
You never egged somebody's car?
nope.
I didn't either. I was an angel. Actually, I did. I'm still an angel, but I did do those things.
I never said anything about being an angel. I just said those things.
Oh, so you were stealing people's candy?
I was getting candy.
You were getting candy, but but you're not going to say how you were getting it. Was that your mischief?
I I had forms of mischief. Stealing wasn't one of them.
Did you ever? Yeah, stealing's bad. I hate thieves and liars. Bad. Did you ever go to the houses that had like a big huge bowl of candy and a sign that said "Take one, please"?
Yeah.
Did you? Did you
Oh yeah.
take one?
Um. Yeah. One, two. Yeah.
I took one. Now I look back on it, I'm so proud of myself.
You should be. I teach my kids that.
I could have taken so much more. I can't say I'd just take one today. That's not nice.
That
It
depends on
depends
what
on what's
candy
in the
they have.
bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Halloween shifted its focus toward children, transforming into a holiday centered on youthful joy and imagination. The post war baby boom swelled the ranks of young participants, moving parties from public halls into classrooms and homes, where safer, more controlled celebrations could flourish, setting the stage for the Halloween traditions many families cherish today. Between 1920 and 1950, the ancient custom of trick or treating experienced a powerful revival across America. Rooted in centuries old practices, this simple ritual became a way for entire communities to unite in the Halloween spirit, an affordable and inclusive celebration where neighbors shared small treats to ward off the mischief that threatened their homes. By handing out candy, families could protect themselves from pranks while fostering goodwill among children who roamed the streets in costume, blurring the lines between the living and the playfully disguised. This grassroots tradition took hold and blossomed into a defining feature of Halloween night. Did you know it's kind of funny that they were handing out candy to keep from being pranked? Like you hand out candy and then you don't get egged. There is a holy day that's celebrated within the Jewish community that is the opposite. That people, families, and children go and gift um, people food and treats rather than go and ask for treats. It's kind of neat.
I didn't know that, but when you
Mhm.
said it was the opposite, I thought you were saying that they were doing pranks for treats.
I don't think they do that, but some people might. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of neat.
That is neat.
They do dress up in costume too, so it's kind of cool.
Interesting. Today, trick or treating fuels an $11 billion industry, making Halloween the nation's second largest commercial holiday after Christmas. What began as humble offerings to keep mischief at bay has grown into a sprawling celebration, still wrapped in the age old dance between fear, fun, and community. Let us not forget, though, that nearly every Halloween tradition we cherish today traces back to ancient Celtic rites or the Christian observances of All Saints and All Souls Days. Among them, trick or treating likely springs from the early All Souls Day parades of medieval England. On these solemn nights, the poor would travel from door to door begging for food in exchange for prayers for the souls of the departed. Families responded with soul cakes, small pastries offered as gifts and tokens, encouraging the supplicants to remember their loved ones in prayer. Known as going a souling, this ritual was embraced by the Church as a holy replacement for older pagan customs that involved leaving food and wine for wandering spirits on the night when the veil between worlds was at its thinnest.
See, there they go, replacing,
Yep.
assimilating.
Over this over the centuries, the tradition evolved with children stepping into the role of solars, visiting neighbors to receive ale, food, and coins. This blend of charity, superstition, and community crossed the Atlantic and blossomed into the trick-or-treating ritual that now defines Halloween night.
Why couldn't they just be like, "Hey, that's kind of a cool thing you're doing over there. We're gonna make a thing ourselves, and have our thing that we do. That's kind of cool like that. It's not the same thing, but it's similar, rather than take away one for the other."
I imagine because just like today, nobody likes a copycat.
True, but I mean that's kind of what was happening. Just
No,
saying.
absolutely. I mean, they just didn't believe in the same thing, so I assume they just didn't want to show that kind of care towards that belief. I
Right.
imagine. But
Well, and just leave people alone. Let them do what they're doing. If you want to do something that's like that, then just do something that's like that and let them do their thing. You don't have to have anything to do with it.
that's nonsense. Nobody likes to keep their nose out of people's business.
True. Very
the,
true.
the tradition of dressing in costume on Halloween traces back to both European customs and ancient Celtic beliefs. Centuries ago, winter was a time of uncertainty and fear. Food was scarce, and the long, dark nights weighed heavily on those who dreaded the shadows. On Halloween night, when it was believed that the dead returned to roam the earthly realm, people feared venturing outside, lest they cross paths with restless spirits. To protect themselves, they donned masks and disguises, hoping to blend in with the ghosts and avoid being recognized as living souls. These eerie costumes were a form of camouflage, a desperate attempt to walk unseen among the shadows until the dawn broke and the spirits retreated.
As our two-part journey through the shadows of Halloween comes to a close, we find ourselves standing at the crossroads of past and present. From the ancient Celtic fires of Samhain, where the veil between worlds was thinnest and spirits walked among the living, to the swirling evolution of customs that carried those mysteries across oceans and centuries, Halloween has always been a night steeped in both reverence and revelry. What began as a sacred threshold marking the end of one year and the uncertain arrival of the next has transformed into a celebration where costumes, candy, and community intertwine with echoes of a darker, older magic. Beneath the laughter and the light, the ancient whispers remain, reminding us that Halloween is more than a holiday. It is a moment when the boundaries between reality and the unknown blur, inviting us to remember, to fear, and to celebrate the mysteries that dwell just beyond the veil. Next week, we turn from ancient rituals to true crime terror, exploring true tales of horror that unfolded on Halloween night. From chilling crimes to unexplainable events, these stories where darkness wasn't just imagined, it was deadly. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your senses sharp, because on Halloween, some horrors are all too real.